Michael Badrov. What's up?
Crawfa, I don't actually know your last name.
My first name's David.
It's been a long day. I'm Mike Badrov, and I'm a multimedia journalist. I'm also in the class of 2024. I first came to LT, I got involved in nothing because it was COVID. And I wanted to learn all the cameras and everything that went on behind it. So I'm like, oh, if I learn what's going on behind the cameras, I'll be better in front of the camera. I walked in, I'm like, hey, what can I do? And there was a lot. This was a really cool opportunity. I really enjoyed this more than I thought I would. I walked into college with like 50 credit hours of stuff, and I'm taking like some summer school classes. I should be able to graduate in like a year and a half. I love LT for this reason.
Your LT experience, what kind of stuff did you get involved with when you first came to LT?
First came to LT, I got involved in nothing because it was COVID. But then my junior year, I came around to this campus and I became friends with Drew Gretsch, who had his podcast called Tuscan Radio. And he looked at me and he's like, hey, Mike, do you know LTTV? I'm like, no. He's like, do you know Bill Allen? I'm like, oh, my mom went to college with Bill Allen. And he's like, well, Bill runs LTTV and I want to actually turn Tuscan Radio into a talk show with cameras and like lighting and stuff. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. Drew's the kind of guy who has like 5 ideas at any given moment, and then he'll take all of them very seriously and then only go for one. So I'm like, okay, Drew, this sounds cool. If he does it, he does it. But then we actually go and meet Bill, and Bill's like, sure, why not? And he's like, we used to do a bunch of talk shows, and it'd be great to get that started back up again after COVID. And so joined Tuscan Radio with Drew. And that was my official join into LTTV. And even with Angus Allen, Bill's son. So
And then kind of from that, you kind of started with the sports, right?
Yeah. So it was funny. I was like, oh, I like all of this. And I wanted to learn all the cameras and everything that went on behind it. So I'm like, oh, if I learn what's going on behind the cameras, I'll be better in front of the camera. And so I asked you and Bill, like, hey, do you need any help for a sports shoot? And you guys sent me to a volleyball shoot, which is where I met Michael Garbars. And I'm up in the booth for volleyball, and we're looking down, and Garbars is kind of like frantically going up and down. He's like, we don't have an announcer, and one of them's missing. And I'm like, oh, I'm here to do cam ops, but I know what volleyball is. And I keep on talking to him about volleyball. And I'm like, she's going to set it out to the outside. Outside's going to spike it down there. He's like, oh, why don't you announce? I'm like, what? And my sister's playing on the team too. So this is why like I wanted to go do volleyball. And he's like, yeah, if you know all the players. I'm like, I actually do know all the players. I used to play with all of them during like my co-ed leagues. And so I started announcing the volleyball game. I'm like, this was pretty fun. I want to get better at this. And I told Bill that. He's like, oh, yeah, we got football. We got basketball coming up. We got soccer. We got volleyball. And then he kind of just put me on another game. And from there, it kind of kept on going out. And later, like I think a month later, I became like his head of sports programming, which was fun because I got to like try to get other people to join me. I got my friend Tim Shepard to join me as a co-announcer the next year. But it was really fun. And I enjoyed doing all the sports and got really into the basketball scene as the course of the year took over. So,
what would you say is your favorite thing about announcing? Or like, is there a specific sport that you prefer to announce? Like, do you have a favorite?
So my favorite sport to announce is volleyball. Yeah, I think like my favorite thing about announcing is when the prep pays off. It's a weird thing to describe. Like when you're an announcer, you're doing the prep you do into the game is like very like hour of prep is like 5 minutes of like stuff you can talk about in the game. And so before my games for LT, obviously there's not many stats you can go look up. Like, yeah, there's high school commit Colin Smith. Yeah, he's 6 feet tall. Nothing you can do there, but you can go look at like their Instagram pages, see where they used to play. You can go look at their Facebooks, their mom's Facebooks. And I love when that information pays off into like something that they connect to. And I'm like, hey, that's an actual moment that I just got related to that player, and that's part of their story. I love that their
part of their story. Right?
Yeah, I love that their stories are coming out in the game.
Where are you going to college right now?
I just finished my first year at Indiana University. I'm a journalism major at the media school there.
And what kind of things are you got involved with at IU?
Everything they had to offer. I walked in, I'm like, hey, what can I do? And there was a lot. I started writing. I wrote for the newspaper, and there's a reason I no longer write for them. I was a basketball reporter for the radio station. I got to travel around with the team and go to a bunch of their travel games and just go to the games and be like a silent reporter for what was going on. I am at the TV station for both sports and news. And next year I will be the assistant director of the news station. And I will have, like, we do news and entertainment with news, so I'll be in full control of the news side. And then this was a really cool opportunity. I really enjoyed this more than I thought I would. I was the interviewer for a professionally funded documentary class.
Wow.
And we got to work with like giant cinema cameras and got to interview a bunch of the racers.
That's awesome.
For an event called the Little 500. If you're anywhere in Indiana, you'll know what the Little 500 is. But outside of that, I would describe it as the Indy 500, but with bikes. And it sounds a lot less cool than it actually is because the entire stadium just gets filled with a bunch of people, and the race is so much more exhilarating because you're not deafened by everything. You can actually hear, you can actually see the bikes go all the way around, and you're like, oh my God, because people will actually crash. You'll see like giant bike crashes. And so the event gets heated up, but throughout the entire year, these racers are training and they're preparing, and it's like their entire life. So that was fun. And then, I was the volleyball announcer for the men's club volleyball team, and I set up my own stream for that. So that was kind of
To talk a little bit about that, you were kind of saying that a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
What kind of equipment you use?
So I didn't get to be like a play-by-play or like color commentator. It was really competitive, and there was a lot of great guys in front of me. So I'm like, wait my turn, pay my dues. But I wanted to see if I can do anything with reps. And of course, I love volleyball. There's a club men's volleyball team at IU, not a professional one. So I reached out to them like, hey, do you guys want an announcer? And they're like, yeah, come with us to our travel tournament. And I'm like, sweet. And from there, I was like, well, how do I actually announce? That was kind of like step 2 of like, I had an idea. I was going to go through like a Twitch stream and set up a microphone. And then from there, I just share the link to all the players. I'm like, hey, there's the stream. And they actually had their own Twitch stream. So I plugged in like a wireless mic, like a little like mini mic, and then headphones on. And I'm like, oh, I'll announce. So I stood up. Was not my best work, to be completely honest, because I really didn't learn everyone's names. It was a quick turnaround. So like that morning I said yes. And then that night I was with them at that tournament. So didn't have a roster. I was learning names on the fly. And then the other team, it's not like I can like search up their rosters online. It's club men's volleyball. They're not really that professional. So I was getting their rosters before the game. I'm like, let's get everything going. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I really liked the team and I liked the guys. And I'm like, I want to get better at this again. So I went back. I game planned a way to actually like make it more stationary, like what I was more used to. And so they had a home tournament the next month, to which I got like a Sony camera that I could plug an HDMI cord into. And then I got a little mini switcher from Blackmagic that I plugged into my computer through the OBS system. And from there, I could actually have my own 4K camera for a stream. And then plugged in just like a mic like this that I got from the radio station, which was the helpful part. Like I got the camera from the TV station, got the mic from the radio station, got the switcher from equipment checkout. I'm like, oh, sweet. Being a part of all these things helps out.
You made it all work.
Kind of put it all together like a hodgepodge, and it worked out. Got 2 really good games out of that, and I was really proud of that. I don't know if I'm announcing for them next year, but I think I will be announcing for the women's professional team at the university for Big Ten, hopefully. So
that's awesome.
Got to apply for that in July. I have my reel already.
Yeah. So, what kind of things are you looking forward to after college? So right now you're doing that internship with
yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
So after college, I actually from LT. I love LT for this reason. I got enough credits. I walked into college with like 50 credit hours of stuff, and I'm taking like some summer school classes. I should be able to graduate in like a year and a half, and just get out of there, so I don't have to pay like another $120,000 for the next 2 years, because college is stupid expensive. But right now, I was really lucky to get an internship my freshman year at Fox 32, and that's a funny story because I don't know if you remember, Bill took us on a tour there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he got us set up with a tour there, and so it was me, Jack Crandall, Drew Gretsch, Elliot, and Fenn, Actually, I think I put Jack Kendall in there. But it was me, Elliot, Fenn, and Drew. I don't know what Jack Kendall goes to DePaul, so I just kind of equate him with Chicago now. But we all toured Fox 32 there, and I love the place. And I'm like, I would love to work here. And I met their meteorologist, Emily Walls, and emailed her. She gave me an internship form. I couldn't fill it out then because they only took college applicants. But I filled it out this year, got an interview with the assistant news director there, lovely woman by the name of Lisa Vusco. And we had a great like hour and a half interview of like, hey, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And I showed her my resume, everything I've been doing with news up until that point. And might sound confusing because I might have sounded like a sports guy up until this point, but throughout the entire time in Indiana and even my time here, I started shifting more into news.
Yeah.
So
like small packages type things.
Yeah, I love doing it. So I am a news and sports intern there for Fox 32.
That's
and
great.
Just finished my third day yesterday.
Yeah. And then that's great.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Michael, thank you for coming on the Alumni Lounge.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll see you next time where stories collide and memories reside. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, consider liking and subscribing to the Alumni Lounge, where stories collide and memories reside.